Hi everybody, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really delighted to be here today with Rob Breakwell, who's Managing Director for Bruha Brewing. Hi Rob, lovely to see you.
Hello Ruth, hello everyone.
So tell us first of all, Rob, a bit about your job as a Managing Director and the organisation that you're working in.
So if I start with the organisation first, because that will give a bit of background. So Bruha Brewing is a pretty new brewing business based on the Norfolk Suffolk border. Our mission is to make essential, everyday East Anglian beer. And we're trying to make beer which is kind of demystifies craft beer, but makes buying really good beer much simpler and much easier. So an average day at Bruha Brewing, I mean, generally anyone that manages any kind of business, you're mostly overseeing what is going on. So ultimately, when everyone feels like they can do their own thing, you're the person that has to step in and say, this is what our plan is, this is what we're going to do. And by and large, we work quite closely aligned to what our business plan is. And so most of what we do is kind of process driven really rather than project driven. So it is mostly work that we've pre-planned. Having said that, as with any business and any kind of reality, things don't always go to plan because there are things that go wrong. There are third parties that are involved, and that's probably where you earn your money the most, when you're trying to put together all the pieces that have slightly fallen apart.
That's really interesting. I'm sure that's really true about that bit about putting everything back together when things have gone wrong. What sort of what might a typical day look like for you, Rob, in your job?
Look, we're a really small business, so it's there is kind of a bit of everything, really. You know, one thing we find really important is all of us as directors in the business making sure that we are never too proud to do all the bits and pieces that we might expect other people to do for us. So it can be anything from mucking in with some of the production process. It can often be loading the van up and delivering beer. It might well be talking to a marketing company or our PR company or our social media company. It could be visiting our distributor, or it could be going out and talking to new customers or existing customers about what we do and what beers we currently have available. So there's a huge range really of things that we do, and that's probably what makes the role so exciting.
Out of that huge range of things, which bit do you find the most challenging and why?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I wasn't expecting that to be that good. Yeah, that's interesting. I think always the most challenging thing is managing people and trying to coerce them and to get them to see things in the way you want to see them. And I think all of us, we're a very small business at the moment, but all of the guys that work in the business are very much self-starters. But occasionally we have people who probably haven't brought their A game to work, or things have gone wrong or whatever. So I think that the most difficult thing really is balancing what the needs of the business are with the needs of the people that work in our business, and trying to make sure that we're always going forward and we're always doing things in the right kind of way.
That's really brilliant, because I'm sure that's probably across so many different roles, isn't it? That, like you say, sort of supporting people that you've got with you, but also trying to achieve what you need to do organisationally can be a challenge. But that's really interesting. And so the flip side of that, what's like your favourite bit of the job, and why?
Yeah, so my background is sales and marketing, so I really enjoy that bit. I love talking to people. Yeah, I've done roles in the past where I didn't quite believe in what I was doing. I didn't quite believe in the product I was selling, but you kind of have to give the illusion that you do. But definitely with Bruha and what we're doing and our mission, I designed it, so I really believe in it. And being able to go and tell people all about it and explain to them what it is we're doing and seeing how that influences their decision making is really, really satisfying.
With that sort of strong background in sales and marketing, what sort of if you had to pick 3 characteristics for sales and marketing that make good salespeople, what do you think they are?
Yeah, it's really interesting here. There's a technical version of this answer, which is what all sales training companies give you, about actually you can make good salespeople rather than they're born. I'm not sure that good salespeople are born, but I think some of the skills that are really, really useful are just being able to build rapport with people. It's just being able to engage with people at their level and in a way that they feel and find comfortable. If you can put somebody at ease and you can feel somebody feel like they are comfortable in their environment with you and they like you and they have some things that they have in common with you, then it's much easier for them to then understand what the product is that you're trying to sell. So I would say that's the key thing really, is building rapport with people. Because if you try and sell something, I don't know, if you try and even if you were selling something to a colleague or something you didn't know that well, if you weren't yet friends with them, it would be much more difficult to do. The other thing, kind of the opposite to that really, is just being organized. So one of the most important things about sales is understanding what it is you're trying to do, and in doing that means understanding who it is you're trying to sell to, why it is they might want to buy your product, and what's different about your product to get them to engage with what you're doing. Now that's all very fine, but if you aren't organized in what you do and how you do it, and if you don't record what you've done, and if you don't follow up the things you said you were going to do, then it's just wasted time. And I see so many people that have worked for me in the past, or I've worked with, that are really, really great at doing the rapport bit, really great at doing the relationship building bit, but they just forget to do the follow-up bit. And if you've tried hard to really get someone's attention to go and buy something from you, and yet you don't do what you said you were going to do, everything falls down from there. And it's really difficult, and it's not impossible, but it's really difficult after that to go and build that rapport again, because you've kind of lost their trust really. It's a bit like the government at the moment, making promises to do things and not quite doing them, yet expecting people still to go and vote for them.
I think the trust piece is really important in so many different sectors, isn't it? And reflecting on those sort of transferable skills from from sales, what do you think that they're similar to the kind of skills that you might need as an entrepreneur, or do you think they're slightly different?
I think it's fair to say that most people who are in sales have an entrepreneurial nature to them. There are a lot of sales jobs where you don't get paid a great basic salary, but you get paid commission. I don't personally believe in that. So it naturally makes people want to win and want to be good at things and want to be successful. You're it's a bit of an old cliche, this, but you're kind of only really as good as your last sale. So however good you think you are, you've still got to produce the goods on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, however you're tested by your company. So I kind of feel like that you've if you're in sales, you probably have the entrepreneurial nature, but they're not exclusively mutual. There are people who are great scientists or great engineers or great medics who can be equally entrepreneurial in their own way. It's just possibly, part of the bedrock of being in sales or marketing, that you have that spirit with you in the first place.
I think that drive, the ambition of that is definitely something you can see as sort of being a transferable piece between the two. And what sort of other roles exist in Brewing? What sort of other things do people do?
Yeah. So primarily, really, it's operations and production. So although we are expanding as a business, and we are looking to expand rapidly over the next few years. So at the moment we are a very small fledgling business. So really the other roles in the business are around brewing, production, canning, labeling, order processing, delivering beer. Now, most of that tends to get done by the core people in the business as it is. But over time, we are going to need marketeers. We're going to need more kind of organizational people. We're going to need IT people. We're going to need all kinds of people to help us grow in the business. And what I've learned so far from running the business is that however good you think you are at something, it's always best to see to someone who knows better than you at their specialist field and to trust them to do what they're doing and to get them to help you. So we've also used some agencies and some kind of self-employed people in marketing and PR and social media as well. So by and large, we're actually quite a simple business. You know, we make beer, we put it in some kind of a container, either a can or keg or a cask, and we deliver it to our distributor or our end customer.
Fantastic. Oh, that's really helpful and really interesting to hear about sort of the different types of roles that you might need as you expand as well, how that sort of increases the breadth of skills that you need within your business. Just sort of finally, Rob, I just wondered if you could go back and speak to your younger self and say, give them a piece of careers advice that you wish you'd known then. What would that be, do you think?
Definitely to work harder. Working hard when you're younger feels like sometimes a bit of a chore, but it makes the first 5 years of your career so much easier than it might have done if you didn't work hard. You know, it's great now. I've had some brilliant roles in my career. I've looked after some huge bits of businesses for other brewers and some massive brands across the UK and Europe. But I had to work so hard to get there because I didn't work as hard as I could have done when I was at college. So it felt like the first 5 years of my career, even though I got a business and marketing degree, I always felt like I was slightly behind things, really. I look back at being at sixth form and the free periods I had and where I just went and did fun things with my friends. I look at the homework I didn't do. I look at the assignments I didn't hand in. I look at the exams I didn't revise for. And God, it was so easy to work a bit harder, but I chose not to, and I really regret that now.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing such an honest reflection of what you might do differently if you were going around again. That's really helpful. It's just been so interesting to talk to you today, Rob, and hear all about your business and your role. And thank you so much for giving up your time.
Well, thanks for having me.